Welcome to the Overflow Podcast, the podcast for serious-minded young adults seeking to deepen their faith and make a meaningful impact in their communities, workplaces, and local churches. Join us as we explore how faith meets action. Welcome to the Overflow Podcast.
Hey there, guys. How's it going?
What is going on?
What is up?
Today we're going to get to know a little bit more about Mr. Jeff over here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, maybe
In the hot seat.
ask some fun questions, but then also maybe near the end, learn a little bit about your spiritual journey.
We're gonna dive in. Counseling session.
Dive in. We really need to keep using that so that we can just clone that or
Dive in.
Not clone.
Trademark?
What's the word?
Clone it?
Not clone it.
I have no idea what you're going for, honestly.
Never mind.
You tried. It's the thought that counts. But all right. Well, I guess if we're going to know about me, what questions you got for me then?
All right, Jeff. Let's start easy.
Okay.
Something easy for you. Where are you from?
Where am I from? That is an easy question. I'm from Connecticut. Joe's just pressing buttons over there. For those of you that can't see because you're listening, Joe's got this panel of buttons.
It's pretty awesome.
And I think he's got 15 different sound effects and stuff. Okay. And he's having too much fun. Yeah, I was born in California, fun fact. And then my parents moved us cross country to good old CT. Yeah. So, and this is where I grew up.
Oh, you mentioned family. What kind of family are we talking here? You got a
What kind of
big
family?
You got a small family?
Oh, okay. I would say, man, by typical standards, would it be considered a large family? I have 4 brothers, all bros.
Probably in this day and
Yeah,
age,
I think
it's
it would
considered
It's
it
large.
big,
Yeah.
earlier on in human history. It's
Smaller. Yeah.
compared to us, it's smaller.
Yeah, you have a
That's
small
true.
family.
Yeah, because you have
lost.
10, you have
7.
Joe has 7,
You're in last place.
and I'm in last place. Sorry, I didn't have any control over that. So I have 4 bros, John, Justin, Jake, and then there's me and Joel. So all J's. I don't think that was originally on purpose, but it just kind of so happened
Just
that
happened.
it
You weren't
kinda
trying
got-
to take after the Duggar family or anything like that?
No, definitely not. So that was fun growing up with 4 brothers. There was a lot of probably the typical punching and I remember me and my brother Jake, we would be sitting on the couch 1 second, the very next second we're just absolutely wrestling, going at it in the middle of the living room floor. It was a good time. It was a good time.
That's what boys do.
Yeah,
That is-
absolutely.
that's true.
Just classic.
Do you have any hobbies or stuff that you did for fun as a kid or that you still do now?
We're a big sports family. So pretty much anything with a ball we played. So let's see. When I was little, it was Little League, and played for Mystic Cycle Center. Our team names were just the advertisements for other.
Oh,
They would what do you call it? Support a
you didn't play on a bicycle?
team.
No, I mean, we
No.
were McDonald's when I was in Little League or
okay,
whatever.
yeah. So they sponsor a team, and that's the team name. So I played for Mystic Cycle Center in Little League, and then I think I only played 1 year of Babe Ruth, which is the next level up, and I played for Mystic Dental.
Wow, you're into those Mystic teams.
Well, I grew up in Mystic, so
Well,
and I played Mystic Little League, so and I played basketball and soccer in high school, and then I played a couple years of collegiate ball, and then I switched to intramural in college, and I did soccer, broom hockey. That's interesting. That's you have this stick with a triangle at the end, and you play with shoes on the ice and a ball, and you try to score, kind of like hockey, but not really. It's fun knocking people over though. And volleyball, flag football, softball, basketball. I think I already said that. So yeah, that was kind of active.
So like you said, ball sports.
Ball sports. Yep. Because I do not like to run, except for I'm kind of like a dog. Yep. I have to chase something. There needs to be a goal involved. I do not want to just run a mile.
All right. Yeah. You mentioned college. What'd you study in college?
I studied. I didn't. That was actually interesting. I started out computer science, software engineering, and then I realized this is probably not for me. I didn't grow up like overly techie. Like we played video games and stuff like that, but I got into class and they were like making jokes that I didn't understand about like systems and stuff like that. I was like,
well,
I don't know what's going on here. And so I switched to business management. And then from business management, I switched to, I was kind of between accounting or finance, and I went finance.
So 3 switches. 3 different.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Three switcherooskies. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you can't make up your mind.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just had
Very
no idea.
indecisive.
I was the fact that you have to decide what you do for your life at 18 is a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
At least it was for me, apparently.
Yeah. Well, maybe switching over from who you are, but maybe about what you're like. What kind of person are you? Or what decisions would
Messed
you
up.
make? Well, you said it.
Yeah.
So if you won the lottery, Jeff,
Oh boy.
and this can't be super, we know you're a financial guy, so you can't make the super, I'm going to put it in a 401k and save it until I'm old and have millions of dollars. If you won the lottery, you could buy one super fun thing. What would that be?
One super fun thing. You would think I would have had an answer ready for this because I wrote this question for everyone. I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot to think of an answer for myself on this one.
All right, we'll circle back.
And no. I can come up. I'll get there. So, are you serious? Is that crickets? So what I would do if I won the lottery, this is what I would do. I would buy a beach.
Wow.
That's
would buy-
ambitious.
yeah.
That's a different answer. I've never heard that one before.
I would buy a beach, my own private beach. I don't have to worry about the parking. I don't have to worry about getting a beach pass. I don't have to do any of that jazz.
So purely for your personal pleasure.
Yeah, I would buy myself a beach.
So you wouldn't rent it out or anything like that?
Oh, you
Well,
could have
maybe.
like
Yeah, I could-
parties.
Do that. But I would at least buy myself a beach. You know, if I decide to rent it out or charge stuff at some point.
Could have
But
beach volleyball.
then I can close the beach whenever I want if I'm just like, I want the beach. So yeah, I would buy
That
a
was
beach.
actually, I like that answer.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right. Now, moving on. All right. So, Jeff, I think I know the answer to this question.
Oh, boy.
And we've all stated our answers to this question earlier on different episodes, and we might all be the same. But are you a morning person or a night owl?
So let me think about this.
Yeah, you should think long enough.
Yeah. Because I can kind of be both, but
Pick one.
I think I am becoming more of a morning person.
Interesting.
Say
Yeah.
it ain't so.
Huh?
Say it ain't so.
No, it is. I know. I tend to be more of a morning person now. I get up in the morning, and now I won't lie. There is times where I'm like, I do not want to get out of bed, but I find myself like in college, I would be like up till 12:30, and then I'd be back up going to study at like 5:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe you are a morning person because I would never stay up till 12:30 and be like, "That's late."
Okay.
That's a really good point, Aaron. Thank you for saying that.
Alrighty. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, I'm a morning person, so apparently.
Cool. Well, you're different, I guess, because we're both night owls.
Built different.
Just built different. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, when you're up in the morning early, when everyone else is asleep, what kind of music or things do you like to
In
listen
the
to?
morning, do I listen to music in the morning?
Or just in general?
Sometimes I listen to music in the morning. In general, let's see, what's kind of like my music stuff? I like country, but like modern country.
Yeah.
I'm not huge into the really old timey,
Twangy.
super twangy stuff. I know probably like
True country.
Oh, we're true country fans because we like the. But yeah, I like a little bit more modern country. I listen to a lot of Christian, but I'm the kind of listener that I kind of pick and choose, so I don't have like, oh, this one artist is
Right.
the only one I
Like that
listen to.
too.
Yeah, so I
I feel
kind of
like people are kind of just trending towards that more now,
Probably.
just because there's so much
Spotify
more
and stuff.
access.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. All right. Well, one more question.
Okay.
The most important question.
oh boy,
Would you rather
oh, here we go.
have a chicken follow you for the rest of your life? One single chicken is following you,
Just
no matter where you go,
I can't.
or have to fight 300 bears.
Well, I'm just going to think because I do value my life. I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to have a
Right.
single chicken following
Heard
me.
it here first, folks. We're gonna get chicken. We're just gonna train it to follow Jeff for the rest of his life.
My sister
Like,
has chickens.
I think
Well, perfect.
I somewhat think in cartoons, I feel like, and just the idea. You guys know Moana? Is it Moana?
Yeah, yeah.
With the chicken?
Hey,
and-
hey.
Hey, hey. Is that what it is? I'm kind of thinking that's what's following me around. That's absolutely hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
You need
That's-
something like that.
yeah, because then someone is dumber than I am, which is hard to come by.
Well, transitioning out of how dumb you are.
I know. We probably should have
talk
formatted this
about-
differently because switching to spiritual is a little bit
Right
tough.
after that.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your faith journey?
Okay. So I grew up in a pastor's home. And I would say, so I made it my own at some point, but at around 6 years old, I kind of made one of those like professions almost like, hey, I'm saved, but I don't think I really fully
Yeah.
grasped it when I was that young, which is fine. I just, I don't think I was quite there. And I remember later on, I went back and I talked with my dad, and it wasn't. What's sometimes interesting about people's stories is people that didn't grow up in a Christian home or didn't grow up in with that structure. There's you can tell a bigger change because they have more to change from.
Right.
And for me, I trusted Christ later on after 6 years old. Maybe I was around I don't know. I was still young, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I put my faith fully where I think I grasped it. But later on, as I got into my teen years and even some of my young adult years, because nothing really drastically changed. Obviously, my heart, my position in Christ changed, but
It's harder to
I was
see.
in a Christian. It was harder to see. I was in a
Yeah.
Christian home. I had to obey Christian rules because my parents were Christian.
Right.
So I didn't really do a ton differently, and I think that was a struggle for me personally.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, what if I'm not really a child of God? And that's a skewed view of
Right.
of what salvation is. It's like, okay, yes, God does save us, but there's, I think a lot of times we put some weight on certain areas that we don't need to. It's like, forget about what you thought about when you were 8 years old or whatever. What
Right.
do you believe about Christ right now? It doesn't matter what you said, what you did at 8 years old. That's cool. Okay, that's cool. I can remember that day. Not everyone can, and that doesn't matter.
Right.
What am I trusting in right now for my eternal security?
Yeah.
And if you say it is Jesus Christ, that's what's important. And that's where I had to come to.
Yeah.
And I'd say just through teen years, up and down there. And then I worked at a Christian summer camp, and that was a huge spiritual growth time for me. And then just seeing God work and really helping deepen my faith. So I think getting saved at a younger age, but then being able to really make it my own, this ministry, being a pastor's kid, I did a lot of ministry, but I made it my own. Right. And my faith became part of who I was rather than it was my parents.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really good.
And we talked about on other episodes, like a favorite verse. Do you have like a favorite passage or something that is really meaningful to you?
Yeah, there's a verse or a couple verses that have had some impact on me in James 4, and it talks about drawing near to God. Draw near to God, and He'll draw near to you. James 4:6-8 says, "But He gives more grace. Therefore," it says, "God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." That passage has been really impactful for me, and I've actually taken this, and I work with the teens at church, and I talk through this or something like this with them, at least almost like once a year, I think. And I think about this aspect of drawing near to God, and it makes me think like, okay, if I'm going to draw near to God, I need to know who God is. And I've posed this question to people, to the teens and to myself, like, how can I love someone that I don't know? If I'm not spending time with God, if I'm not drawing near to God, can I truly say that I love him?
Yeah.
And when I think about that, it's like, okay, so what does this mean for me personally then? I think what it means for me is church is great. Community, Bible study groups,
Definitely.
they're great and they're very helpful. But on a Sunday morning, the pastor is only one guy. He can't speak. He's not going to speak to every single issue, problem, concern, question that someone has on any given Sunday.
Right.
So what that tells me is I need to have my own personal walk with the Lord that is real and authentic, and studying who God is. And to me, that means I need to get in God's word.
Yeah.
And I need to really know who he is, because I'm going to be really malnourished if I only rely on the pastor's words on Sunday or the leader's words on, whatever other night you have a Bible study. And at the end of that verse, it says, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. So that's really cool to me, because God's not standing like super far away saying, yeah, come on, get to me. Come on, let's go.
Right.
He's like, you take a step towards me, I'm going to take a step towards you. Like I'm coming to meet you. I'm not just standing up on my holy hill waiting for you to, work your way up to here. He's like, no, I give grace to the humble. I enable the humble. I'm here to help. And I think that's a really cool aspect of that. But I think that's really where humility comes in, and the verses preceding verse 8, we got to be humble, because God actively resists those who are proud in heart. And how can you get close to a God that word oppose is literally saying like two armies fighting against each other. Like, so how can you get close to a God that is resisting you? Right. You can't. So we have to be humble. That's why it's foundational, I believe. And we got to make sure, we cleanse our hearts. We have to be right before God and just really apply what we know to be true.
Yeah. I think it's really cool too. It's a very direct promise.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy for us when we're reading through the Gospels and stuff. Jesus speaks a lot in parables, but here this is very direct. Like, if you draw near to God, humble in heart, he will draw near to you.
Right.
And that's very powerful. So yeah. It's cool. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Jeff.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for listening. Hopefully you gleaned a little something about who I am, and hopefully, or you just skipped to the end. Maybe they just skipped to the end. They're like, we don't care who Jeff is. Let's just listen to this Bible
Let's
verse.
save some of our brain cells.
Honestly, that probably would have helped. Thanks so much for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Overflow New England, also on Facebook, also Overflow New England. It's a great spot to stay up to date on the comings and goings, what's happening with Overflow. So we will see you next time. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in.